नमस्ते फ्रेंड, आप सभी का स्वागत है। फ्रेंड्स, पेंशन अपडेशन, बैंकर्स पेंशन अपडेशन पिछले 2 केसों में एडजॉर्नमेंट नवंबर के लिए हो गया। एक निराशा, एक डिसअपॉइंटमेंट तो बैंक जो रिटायरीज हैं उनको जरूर हुआ। हमारे सीएन वेणुगोपालन साहब जो पेंशन एक्टिविस्ट हैं, उन्होंने एक पत्र वित्त मंत्री को लिखा और उसकी कॉपी प्रधानमंत्री, सीजीआई और अन्य लोगों को भी किया। मैडम एफएम, प्लीज एक्सपेडाइट द अनाउंसमेंट ऑफ पेंशन अपडेशन। फ्रेंड्स, ये लेटर थोड़ा लंबा है, लेकिन चूंकि हमारे रिटायरीज के हित की बात है, सो हम उसको आपको बताते हैं। मैडम एफएम, प्लीज एक्सपेडाइट द अनाउंसमेंट ऑफ पेंशन अपडेशन एंड नेक्स्ट ईयर। ये लेटर उन्होंने 16 तारीख को लिखा। रिस्पेक्टेड मैडम, नमस्ते। काइंडली रिकॉल योर exhortation to the Indian Bank Association on 10th November 2020 at its 73rd annual general meeting as the 3rd anniversary of its first approaching. All bank pensioners became cheerful to read the following in the media 3 years back. A one rank, one pension OROP kind of scheme is in the works for retired PSU bank employees. OROP was a long-standing demand of armed forces veterans where the pension would be reworked so that everyone who retired is the same rank will get the same pension irrespective of the date of retirement. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has sounded off banks to do more for employees who retired earlier so that they are not discriminated against the term of pension. Ironically, the IBA and the Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, have kept differing on the issue for too long, carrying 2 pence to your exhaustion. As a result, the exuberance of the bank pensioner generated by your honeyed exhortation has vanished, giving way to the disappointment and the disillusionment to them. Leave alone OROP, the revision of pension mandated by the statutory pension regulation is denied to the bank pensioners. Note with understanding that their pension and revised pension are payable out of the pension funds, built up with the CPF of employees and the CPF refunded by retired employees and families of the deceased employees, and there is no burden to the revenue account of the banks or to the budgetary allocation of the government. As a result, pension fund have a corpus of above rupees 3,50,000 crores at present, and the annual payout of the pension family pension is less than 25% of the annual growth of the fund. The bank pensioners are in fact expropriated by short-changing their statutorily vested pension out of their own money and the property, and are driven to the corridors of the courts in old age in quest of justice, as if the work they had done in a strenuous atmosphere all along while in service of banks for translating all financial policies of the government into reality was a crime that attracts the punishment of the deprivation. As per the industry-wide settlement dated 29th October 93 between IBA and All India Bank Employees Association, entered pursuant to the Industrial Dispute Act 1947. The pension scheme of the 58 banks, including of the nationalized banks, was to be on the pattern of the pension scheme in the Reserve Bank of India as regards payment of dearness allowance, amount of pension, updating, general conditions, etc. But when the DFS accorded sanction to revise the pension in RBI on 5th May 2019, similar updating was not granted in the nationalized banks under its control. making all of them breach of settlement. As per the industry-wide settlement dated 29th October 93, between IB and All India Bank Employees Association pursuant the Industrial Dispute Act 1947, Regulation 35(1) of the Bank Employees Pension Regulation 1995 BEPR as amended in 2002-3 laid down the basic pension and the additional pension wherever applicable shall be updated as per the formula given in Appendix 1. It initially stood as in respect of the employees who retired between the first day of January 1986 but before the 31st day of October 1987. Basic pension and additional pension will be updated as per the formula given in Appendix 1. The amendment made it clear that pension of all employees, irrespective of date of retirement, shall be updated, giving stress to the updation by replacing the words will be updated with the words shall be updated and also by adding the phrase wherever applicable. Shall be updated in the amended proviso, make it categorical. The pension shall be updated simultaneously with the revision of pay scales arising out of the each bipartite settlement. The Appendix 1 contained 5 formulae, including formula first for updating pension of the employees retired between 1st day of January 86 but before 31st day of October 1987. The formula 2 to formula 5 were not applicable to the employees retired between 1st January of 86 but before 31st day of October 87. In postulating in plural that pension of employees who retired between 1st day of January 86 but before 31st day of October 87 will be updated as per the formula given in Appendix 1. The construction of the provision in Regulation 35(1) was apparently wrong. The possible objective of the proviso was to ensure that the benefit of updating pension was given to employees who retired prior to the date of commissioning the pension scheme and not to forbid the benefit to employees who retire after commissioning of the scheme. No formula for updating of the pension of future retirees could be put in the Appendix 1 as it was to be based on the future level of emoluments payable from time to time. Regulation 56 of the BEPR. In case of doubt in the matter of application of these regulations, regard may be had to the corresponding provisions of the Central Civil Services Rule 1972 or Central Civil Commutation of Pension Rules 81 applicable to for the central government employees with such exception and modification as the bank with the previous sanction of the central government may from time to time determine makes it crystal clear that the pension scheme in banks is exactly the same as central civil pension scheme. No bank has so far determined any exceptions and modification from the central civil pension scheme and notified in the Gazette of India with the previous sanction of the government. This makes it imperative that just in the same way, central civil pension gets updated with the implementation of each pay commissions. Pension in bank is to be updated, revised in the tune with the revised emoluments arising out of the bipartite settlements. In other words, updating revision of pension needs no fresh sanction as it is benefit already conferred on the bank pensioners by the BEPR 1995 and the non-updating, non-revision by the DFS is in the gross breach of the statutory pension regulations put in place by the DFS itself. The Honorable Supreme Court has held on 1st July 2015 in state of Rajasthan and others, Mahendra Nath Sharma and other civil pension, that pension shall not be lower than 50% of the revised scale of pay corresponding to the pre-revised scales. State cannot take a plea of financial burden to deny the legitimate dues of the respondents, and it is in the duty of the state government to avoid unwarranted litigations and not to encourage any litigation for the sake of litigation. In another recent judgment in state of Rajasthan, O.P. Gupta 22, also the apex court said that the settled position of law is that when pension rules are capable of more interpretation than one, the court should lean towards that interpretation which goes in the favor of the implied. The DFS is obviously flouting the laws laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court, is not updating the pension in the nationalized banks under its control in accordance with the revised pay scales arising out of the bipartite settlement. It is also pertinent Parliamentary Committee has recommended additional pension of the 5% of 65 years, 10% at 70 years, and 15% at 75 years, along with the existing 20% increase at 80 years, 30% at 35 years, 40% at 85 years, 50% at 95 years, and 100% at 100 years up to central civil pensioner, in addition to the normal revision in pension through each pay commission to enable them live on their own without becoming a burden on others. The central government has accepted this recommendation recently. The benefit is given out of the budgetary allocations met by the taxpayers. Taxpayers' money out of the mammoth profits transferred by public sector enterprises and the public sector bank to the central government, while giving the benefits even to the teachers and the other staff of the private run schools and college out of the tax money or budgetary allocations of the government. The bank pensioner who worked in state-run banks in tense and stressful atmosphere all along with for implementing the all financial policies of the government are denied the normal updating of pension out of their own money and property for the past 3 decades. The recommendation of the Parliamentary Committee have referred to the above and it's accepted by the central government is in recognition of the fact that pensioners need more help as they advance in age and the government has an obligation, social and moral, to help them. But look at the paradoxical plight of the pensioner retired from government-owned bankers. Their pension reduces with age in the sense that later retirees get higher pension than earlier retirees, not because of a flawed pension system, but because of a stubborn reluctance on the part of government to address the issue as per the existing provision despite enabling provisions. The non-revision of the pension in banks and the regular revision of the pension for government employees has engendered a situation in which pension in banks is inversely proportional to age of the pensioner and the pension of government employee is directly proportional to age. The double standard is difficult to understand. Senior most bank men are nursing a feeling that the flattering praise of the bank personnel past and present by the finance minister and her promise of happy days for bank pensioners is nothing but a play to the gallery. If the finance minister is honestly concerned about this popular perception about her and she mean what she said, she should walk her talk by revising pension in banks forthwith, at least from April 2019, as done in the case of the RBI, if not from the very inception of the pension as mandated by the pension regulations. It will show that the minister has been true to her oath of office and the Constitution of India to treat all manner of the people without discrimination and without fear of the favor, and has respect to the statutes and to laws laid down by the Supreme Court. I request you to kindly announce the updating of pension in banks forthwith in the same way you updated the family pension in banks, so that the bank pensioners who are senior citizens in advanced age do get their legitimate entitlements before they join the great majority. It does not need any fresh sanction, as it involves only proper implementation of the pension regulation, settlements, rulings in the different rulings of the courts. This can make the various petitions in the different courts across the nation redundant. Thanking you, yours faithfully, श्री CN वेणुगोपालन। और इसकी कॉपी उन्होंने श्री ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर को किया है, CGI को किया है और डिफरेंट डिग्नेटरीज को किया है। फ्रेंड्स, these are the very exhaustive and the very explanative letter to the FM for the acceptance of the pension updation। और अगर वित्त मंत्री चाहती हैं तो वह डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, और जनरल इलेक्शन के आचार संहिता लगने से पूर्व इसका अनाउंसमेंट किया जा सकता है, और जितने भी कोर्ट्स केसेस हैं सब ऑटोमेटिकली खत्म हो जाते अगर पेंशन रिवीजन की मांग मान ली जाती। थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स, नमस्कार। इसका मैं लिंक दे दूंगा गूगल ड्राइव, जिससे जरिए आप पूरा का पूरा लेटर एग्जॉस्टिव रूप से जो आप ना समझ पाए हैं और पढ़ सकते हैं और देख सकते हैं। थैंक यू फ्रेंड्स, नमस्कार।